Welcome to 60 Skills. What are the different kinds of Akasha? Well, simply put, Akasha is not just one thing. Akasha, as represented by the letter E from Franz Barden's Kabbalah, represents a kind of terrestrial Akasha. It is purple and somewhat electric in nature, yet also magnetic in terms of its body posture position. This is the kind of Akasha that most people begin to work with first, and the reason for this is quite simple. Out of all the different varieties of Akasha, this form happens to be the safest. Additionally, if you use Franz Barden's letters as a schematic for how to deal with Akasha, you have several different kinds and several letters that appear to exhibit dual letter or dual characteristics. The most common of which is umlaut A, which is most often used as earth element in Franz Barden's Kabbalah. However, it should be noted that umlaut A also has an Akashic function to it. This is quite curious until you think about the nature of equilibrium. Equilibrium is defined by banding fire into the head, air into the chest, water into the abdomen, and earth into the legs. This creates a state of equilibrium that allows for Akasha, or the power of the void, to arise. Once the void is crossed, a practitioner can go over to the non-dual light state and essentially become enlightened. Now, what's curious about this, again, is that Akashic aspect to the earth element. Why is this? Well, it's important to remember that the only true elements are fire and water. Air is simply an intermediate space between fire and water, and earth is simply a combination of all three of these things. So in this regard, it is easy to see how earth in and of itself has an Akashic resonance to it. So these two forms of Akasha, or Akasha-influenced energies, will be the kinds that most practitioners work with for the mainstay of their operating life. Now, if someone chooses to work with the letters directly from Franz Barden's third book, Key to the True Kabbalah, this can begin to change. At this point, the ultimate representation of Akasha is actually the letter U. This is a silver-black colored energy that is highly penetrating and liberates the body in a variety of ways. The reason why this is not engaged with from the beginning is interaction with this energy can in fact be dangerous to the health and mind of a practitioner. The simple fact of the matter is the purple version of Akasha, exhibited by the letter E, is safe for most people to work with. The letter U takes quite a bit of work, and if mishandled, can be quite dangerous to the individual in question. Now, what's also interesting is if you choose to go down the track of the planetary meditations, if you engage Saturn, you will also engage different forms of Akasha. The exact relationship between Saturn and Akasha is a bit unclear, but the simple fact of the matter is, everyone who's bothered to do those meditations reported that a variety of different forms of Akasha manifested, many of which were quite uncomfortable to deal with. This is one of many reasons why most people should not do the meditations with Saturn. The simple fact of the matter is, to quote a better man than me, the juice is not worth the squeeze for most people. And if you want to know more reasons why most people should avoid working with Saturn, you should look at some of my earlier lectures dealing with this topic. So the simple fact of the matter is, the Akasha that is represented in most drawings of saints, enlightened figures, and spirits generally represents that of the letter E, or what can best be summed up as terrestrial Akasha. Now, for those of you who care to read Barden's third book, Key to the True Kabbalah, you can read about a few other different forms of Akasha in there as well, all of which have specific functions that are highly relevant to someone doing that work, but not relevant at all to someone who is not. So I thank you for having joined me today. I hope to see you again soon, and be well.